All right, so we have 4 candidates. How do we know that? FHGI. Those are the initials of those candidates, apparently. So there are 4. I'm going to go ahead and count them. And put up here candidate. Or this is the ranking. So apparently 2 people said that they preferred, let me go ahead and put caps on, F over H over G over I. Or is that a J? J. So if they had their choice, candidate F would be the winner. They put them first. Alright, so let me go ahead and fill in the rest of this information. 7 tab, 6 tab, oh, see I can't even type sometimes. 6 tab, 4 tab, 2 tab. When I hit the tab, it jumps to the next cell. Notice the ones that it knows are numbers aligned to the left, to the right, and characters aligned to the left. That's how you know it's reading numbers as numbers and characters as characters. So this one is, I'm going to hit enter instead of tab this time. So H enter, F enter, G enter, J. Then I'm going to come up here. I'm using the arrow keys. J, G, F, H. Do you see how I'm putting their preference in order? So 6 people, yeah, I think so too. 6 people said J should win. If they can't have J, they'll take G, but H is their last choice. Alright, so let's see here. 4 would be G, F, H, J, and 2 people said J, F, H, G. And we're going to go ahead and walk through all of the methods if you don't mind, since we're recording. Okay, so plurality says whoever has the most first place votes. So let's list our candidates down here. I'm going to put them in alpha. Actually, I'm just going to take this column right here. I'm going to copy it, Control C, paste it, Control V, and sort it alphabetically. Because the order doesn't matter right now. So if I look at this, the only time F had first place was twice. But G was there 4 times. H was there 7 times, and J was actually there 6 times here, plus the 2 times here. Their preferences changed on the later rankings, not on that first ranking. So he has 6 plus 2, not minus, equals 6 plus 2. Equals 6 plus 2. Alright, so now we know J should have won. He had 8 first place votes if you use the plurality method. Does that make sense? Alright, the next method I really think you should understand is Bordeaux count, pairwise comparison, and I think there's one with elimination we can go over. But let's talk about the 3 basic ones first. Bordeaux count says, when you do this and say that J wins, what you don't understand is that a lot of people hated him. Do you see that? 13 people said, we want him he's our last choice. We really don't want him. So let's do Bordeaux count. Bordeaux count says, yeah, we'll give you the most points for being first, 3 points for being second, 2 points for being third, and 1 point for being last. What this does is it lets F and H have more points. Do you see here F and H are a lot of people's first and second choice? By weighting them, you're allowing an average across the board and not just that first place vote. So what if we did, I'm going to leave that there, Bordeaux count. Darn it. Copy. Let's make a contingency table. Oh, that's not what I want. Copy. Paste. Okay. I'm going to move this down one. This is what's nice about Excel. There are 3 plus signs. This plus sign puts you in the block. This plus sign right here helps you move it. And then if you needed to drop it down, that little dark plus sign right there would duplicate it downward. So I want first place votes, second place votes, third place votes, and fourth place. So this is the rank. And these are the points, because they're in reverse order. You get 4 points for first place, 3 points for second place, 2 points for third place, and only 1 point for the last place. And if we look at this, how many first place votes does F have? 2. How many second place votes does F have? 7 plus 4 plus 2. Do you agree? So when we look at F, let's go ahead and do some coloring here. I want to do this. So let's call him green. Green is here, here, and then here. So that's a third place vote. And these two are also second place votes. So in the scheme of things, F was voted first place twice. Second place, whatever the sum is here, 7 plus 4 is 11. 13 times they were voted second. Third, 3, and he had nobody against him. There was nobody who put him in the last position. Do you agree with that?
Yes, the color coding.
Okay, good. Alright, so then we can do it for G. Let's go ahead and color him blue. So we'll have blue here. I'm going to use both the cursor and the mouse. Blue here. I'm going to stop saying here because you see where I'm coloring. And the last one. So I'm going to fix this. What I'm going to do is copy this white cell. Copying it is the dark blue plus sign. Copy it there so the color goes away because I meant to put the color here. Alright. So how many first place votes does G have? 4. How many second place? 6. How many third place? 9. And how many fourth place? 2. Do you agree with those numbers? Alright, so let's do him orange. Alright, so how many first place votes does H have? 7. He has only 2 second place though. So people either really liked him or really didn't. Because this is 6 and 6. And do you want me to color G just to... Alright, so now we need to count how many votes they have in each position. So he has 8 first place votes, but no second place votes, no third place votes, and so he is really the people, he's hot or cold. Either they really like him or they really don't. So how many don't like him? 7 plus 2 is 9. 13 people don't like him. A quick way to make sure you've counted everybody. We know how many votes there were if we say equals the sum. And then pick the numbers up like Battleship. And then close parentheses. It'll show you what you're adding. There are 21 of them. Now what I'm going to do is copy this. Control C. Move down here. And say do that for all of these. And let's make sure they're the same sum. Up, so we're missing 2. Here. Where did... this is F. Oh, yeah, he had... where is he missing 2? F had 2 first place votes. 11, 12, 13. Second place votes. Oh, he had 6 Do you see how I looked at that? Oh, I know. I think I got the 3 from right here. It was 6 though. Do you agree? Okay. If it helps, we could also do this. Put lines around them. Alright, so there's our table. Alright, so how many points did they earn? There are several ways you can do this. We're going to try to minimize typing. Alright, so for first place votes, he actually gets 4 points. For second place, I'm double clicking to pick them up, by the way. And then we want this one to be here, and this one, double click, there we go, to be here. I could have also come up here in the box and moved around and edited. Alright, so we have this number. We want to be able to paste this down, but the problem with pasting it down, let me show you. And we don't want to have to keep retyping it, that's just tedious. So if I pull it down, what happens is that the row moved down like I wanted it to, but so did this row, and I did not want that to. So let me come up here for a second because there is a typo. If I double click on this, it'll tell me exactly what it's doing. I don't want it to multiply 149. I want it to multiply this one. Oh, I accidentally put a 9 on it. That's what happened. And this should be 18. So I'm going to go to the end of it up here and change it to 18. Alright, there. It's the same number because it was being multiplied by 0. But when I paste this down, I do want the first number to change with me. So the first number is now referring to the 7, the 2, the 6, and the other 6. But I really wish it had stayed on this row. So what I'm going to do is put something called a stopper, which is a $sign. I want 18 to always be row 18. So all of these that say 18 need to stay 18. Then when I paste this down, it doesn't change. So there's my Bordeaux counts. So actually, F should have won. J won first place, but people either loved or hated him. H is better liked on average because he has the highest Bordeaux count. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright, and then we have pairwise comparison, which is where the question, well, this question started at plurality, but that was another question you wanted me to go over. So with 4 candidates, how many should we have? Remember the trick? If there are 4, this should equal 4 choices for the first candidate. Once he's standing on the stage, there are 3 candidates left for him to choose to go up against. But the order in which we choose them doesn't matter, so we'll divide by 2. There's only 6. Let's list them out. We could have said compare F to H, F to G, or F to J. We could have compared H to G or H to J, or we could have done G and J. There's 6, and that's the only way I can choose 2 at a time. Alright, so when we say, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And this is another thing I like about Excel. We can move it anywhere, so copy this and paste. I'm going to move over a little bit. What if only F and H were in competition? That means G in this first one, let's go ahead and color it. So for this first one, we only want to consider these 2. And everybody, let me go ahead and do the greens, the grays first. Here they're competing. Here they're competing. And now you wouldn't necessarily have to go this far every time you work a problem, but for illustrative purposes, it helps to do it in detail. You probably could just write the chart and cross off and circle and stuff like that. So if these two are the ones we're comparing head to head, everyone else is irrelevant. So we need to, I'm going to go ahead and black them out because we don't care about them anymore. In this first head-to-head competition, G and J are not considered. Okay, so really there's only two possible orderings here. Either F beat H, or H beat F. I know what my keys are. How many ways did F beat H? One. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a heavy box. That's where F1, H won here. F would have won here if nobody else was in the competition. And who would have won in the oh, and he also won in the last two. Do you see that? So F would have won 14 times. Has 14 votes, and H would have had a whole 7. So who won in this head-to-head competition? F. We still got 5 more times to do it. So if you didn't catch that, we get to do it again, right? So I'm going to do it a lot shorter this time. I am going to bring my graph back over so we can see it. How many times, if we only consider F and G, nobody else, let's go ahead and just type it below here. F, G in this order, so there are 2 here that voted in that order. 7 voted FG again, if we only compare those 2. But these 6 people voted GF. F and G compared here would give 4 votes to the order GF. And then these 2 votes would go in the order of FG. So if we look at this, I'm going to skip a line this time. FG, that ordering happened here, so 2 plus 7 is 9. So 11 votes for candidate F, and the remaining 10 votes for candidate G, which means F also won this head-to-head competition. Alright, let's see if we can quickly tell, because we don't have to do the math, we just have to see who wins. Do you see how few times that J won? J won. He only won 8 times. He was last the other times. So if he only has 8 wins, he must have lost the other 13 votes to everyone else, including F. If we had to, we could do it with colors or redraw the chart smaller. But because J was either hated or he was either loved or hated, it made his easier. Alright, so F wins this one. Who wins with H and G? So let's just count how many times H wins. H wins here with 2. Here with 7, so we're up to 9. He does not win here. He does not win here. But he does win here, so he won 11. Leaving 10 for the other candidate. So H actually did win this one. Alright, and what's nice is that J is still in that same situation. He won 8 and lost everything else. So this is also 13 to 8. And this is also 13 to 8. So H won here and G won here. So in the scheme of things, F won 3 of the pairwise comparisons. H won 2 and G won 1. F is the winner based upon pairwise comparison. Well, actually, there's one more. Let's do plurality with elimination. The one with the least plurality would have would be out first. And so isn't it ironic when you do a head-to-head competition over here, F wins head-to-head. But overall, he is not popular. He would have been the first one eliminated if we had used plurality with elimination. That goes against the Cordyceps criterion. The Cordyceps criterion says if somebody wins every head-to-head competition, don't you think they really should have won? Okay, so he's a Cordyceps candidate, and this plurality violates the Cordyceps criterion. He would have been the first one eliminated. And his 2 votes would have gone to H. Do you see if I kill him, the 2 votes he got first place would go to H? So now we have 4, 9, 8. So the second person eliminated would be G. Who gets his 4 votes? Well, F is already out. G, it just got eliminated, so it would go to H. Oh my goodness. So J is a real loser. H won this case. So we've had 3 different winners. That's the impossibility. You cannot please everybody all the time. It's just impossible. The only way to please everybody all the time would be if it was a unanimous vote all the time. We use plurality when we vote. And why? This is 1 piece of information per candidate. This is 4 pieces of information per candidate. That means 4 times the data space. That means 4 times the possibility of miscounting. So it's more of a logistic reason why we use plurality, not because plurality is good. It's just easier to see through fruition when you have all of the United States voting.